The Democrats questioned why Trump would not have been briefed sooner and pushed White House officials to have the president make a strong statement about the matter. House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff, one of the Democrats who attended the briefing, said it was inexplicable why Trump won't say publicly that he is working to get the bottom of the issue and why he won't call out Putin. He said Trump's defense that he had not been briefed was inexcusable. Trump and his aides set a high bar for briefing a president since it is rare for intelligence to be confirmed without a shadow of doubt before it is presented to senior government decision makers. Some House Republicans who were briefed by the White House on Monday also said they left with questions. Hong Kong police fired water cannon and tear gas and arrested more than 300 people on Wednesday as protesters took to the streets in defiance of sweeping security legislation introduced by China that critics say is aimed at snuffing out dissent. Beijing unveiled the details of the much anticipated law late on Tuesday after weeks of uncertainty, pushing China's freest city and one of the world's most glittering financial hubs onto a more authoritarian path, as thousands of protesters gathered downtown for an annual rally marking the anniversary of the former British colony's handover to China in 1997. Riot police used pepper spray and fire pellets as they made arrests after crowds spilled into the streets chanting "Resist till the end" and Hong Kong independence. Police said they had made more than 300 arrests for illegal assembly and other offences, with 9 involving suspected violation of the new law. The law punishes crimes of secession, subversion, terrorism and collusion with foreign forces with up to life in prison. Will see mainland security agencies in Hong Kong for the first time and allow for extradition to the mainland for trial. China's parliament adopted the law in response to protests last year triggered by fears that Beijing was stifling the city's freedom, guaranteed by a one country two system formula agreed when it returned to Chinese rule. Authorities in Beijing and Hong Kong have repeatedly said the legislation is aimed at a few troublemakers and will not affect rights and freedoms nor investor interests. But critics fear it is aimed at ending the pro-democracy opposition and will crush the freedoms that are seen as key to Hong Kong's success as a financial center. Police posted pictures on Twitter of an officer with a bleeding arm, saying he was stabbed by the rioters holding sharp objects. The suspects fled while bystanders offered to help, police said. On July 1st last year, hundreds of protesters stormed and vandalized the city's legislature to protest against a bill that would have allowed extraditions to mainland China. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Wednesday hailed the role of doctors in their spirited fight against the COVID-19 pandemic, saying they are saving lives by putting themselves in danger. India salutes our doctors, exceptional caregivers who are at the forefront of a spirited fight against COVID-19, he wrote on Twitter to mark Doctors' Day. In a short video of his recent speech, he said, while mothers give birth, doctors ensure our rebirth. Dr. B.C. Roy's birth anniversary is celebrated as Doctors' Day. July 1 is also observed as Chartered Accountants' Day. In his message, the Prime Minister said our industrious CA community has a major role to play in ensuring a healthy and transparent economy. Their services to the nation are deeply valued. Greetings on Chartered Accountants Day. In a short video clip, he said the responsibility on the society's economic health lies with CAs. The Delhi High Court on Wednesday sought a response of the centre on a plea seeking directions to it to ensure that the name of the manufacturing country is displayed on the products being sold on e-commerce sites. And Justice Pratik Jalan issued notice to the centre and e-commerce platforms Amazon, Flipkart and Snapdeal, seeking their stand on the plea by July 2022. The central government standing counsel Ajay Dikpal accepted the notice on behalf of the Ministry of Consumer Affairs. The plea by a lawyer has sought implementation of the Legal Metrology Act 2009 and the rules framed under it, which mandate that the country of origin has to be displayed on the products being sold on e-commerce websites. The petition has claimed that the mandate was not being enforced with respect to e-commerce entities. It has contended that enforcement of the mandate was important in the current scenario when citizens intend to comply with the central government's appeal to promote and purchase Indian goods and not from some neighboring countries. Therefore, it was essential that the country of origin is displayed on the products being sold on e-commerce platforms, the petition has said. The gross GST revenue collected in the month of June 2020 is rupees 90,917 crore, of which CGST is rupees 18,980 crore, SGST is rupees 23,970 crore, IGST is rupees 40,302 crore, and cess is rupees 7,665 crore. The government has settled rupees 13,325 crore to CGST and rupees 11,117 crores to SGST from IGST as regular settlement. The total revenue earned by central government and the state governments after regular settlement in the month of June 2020 is rupees 32,305 crore from CGST and rupees 35,087 crore for the SGST. The revenues for the month are 91% of the GST revenues in the same month last year. During the month, the revenues from import of goods were 71% and the revenues from domestic transaction including import of services were 97% of the revenues from these sources during the same month last year. During the month of June, returns of February, March and April 2020 have also been filed in addition to some returns of May 2020, since government has allowed a relaxed time schedule for filing of GST returns. Some returns of May 2020 which would have otherwise got filed in June 2020 will get filed during first few days of July 2020. The revenues during the financial year has been impacted due to the COVID-19. Firstly, due to the economic impact of the pandemic, and secondly, due to the relaxations given by the central government in filing of returns and payments of taxes due to the pandemic. However, figures of past 3 months show recovery in GST revenues. The GST collections for the month of April was rupees 32,294 crore, which was 28% of the revenue collected during the same month last year. and the GST collections for the month of May was rupees 62,009 crore, which was 62% of the revenue collected during the same month last year. The GST collections for the first quarter of the year is 59% of the revenue collected during the same quarter last year. However, a large number of taxpayers still have time to file the return for the month of May 2020. It's time for a short break. We'll join you in a short while.
వేసవి అవుతుంది ఫన్ with the cooler number one. ఇక చేసుకో more fun ఉంటే cooler number one. ఇక don't run from the sun ఉంటే Genstar number one. पहली नजर में खो गया मैं दीवाना 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 इतना सुंदर जैसे कोई सपना सुहाना मैं दीवाना दीवाना
कचारिया टाइम्स, जो देखे वो दीवाना।
Welcome back to K News and thank you for watching. Let's continue the streak of news. Domestic stock markets jumped more than 1% as they entered the second half of the year, helped by heavyweight financials, although worries over the impact on the economy from a persistent surge in coronavirus cases tempered investor sentiment. The S&P BSE Sensex index soared as much as 1.54% or 538 points to touch 35,454 during the session, whereas the broader NSE Nifty 50 benchmark climbed as much as 1.41% to 10,446. The Sensex ended 498 points or 1.43% higher at 35,414, and the Nifty settled at 10,417, up 115 points or 1.12% from its previous close. The stock market has recovered sharply from multi-year lows hit in mid-March on virus fears, but the benchmark indexes are still down around 15% of the year, having already suffered earlier in the year from a weak economy. Meanwhile, broader Asian stock struggled for traction as better than expected Chinese factory activity could not soothe worries that a surge in coronavirus cases in the United States could hinder an economic recovery. In Mumbai on Wednesday, lenders HDFC Limited and Axis Bank Limited were among the top boosts to the Nifty, rising as much as 2.2% and 2.6% respectively, while agrochemical maker UPL Limited was the top percentage gainer with a jump of 3. Operator Bharti Airtel rose as much as 2.7% after Carlyle said it will buy a 25% stake in Bharti's data center arm for US dollars 235 million. ONGC dropped 3.8% to its lowest since end May after reporting a loss for the March quarter. Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi Vadra has been asked to vacate her government bungalow in Delhi by 1st August. A government notice said today that her allotment stands cancelled from today. In a letter, the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs has asked Priyanka Gandhi to exit the bungalow on Lodi Road in one of the most protected zones of Delhi, as she no longer has special protection group security. Consequent upon withdrawal of SPG protection and grant of Z plus security cover by Ministry of Home Affairs, which does not have provisions for allotment or retention of government's accommodation on security ground to you. The allotment of Type 6B House number 35, Lodi Estate, New Delhi is hereby cancelled with effect from 1/7/2020, said the ministry's notice. Priyanka Gandhi has been told that if she stayed beyond August 1, she will have to pay penalty. Elite SPG cover given to Priyanka Gandhi, her mother and Congress President Sonia Gandhi and her brother Rahul Gandhi, a Congress MP, was withdrawn in November last year. The third round of meeting to resolve the border issue between India and China remained inconclusive, the government sources indicated, and there will be some more rounds to go. The third senior military level meeting took place on June 30 at Chushul on the Indian side, the de facto border between India and China. More meetings are expected both at the military and the diplomatic level in future to arrive at mutually agreeable solution and to ensure peace and tranquility along the LAC as per bilateral agreements and protocols, government sources said. Both sides have emphasized the need for an expeditious, phased and stepwise de-escalation as a priority, the sources however said. The remarks today are in clear contrast with the statement on the earlier talks of June 22, which were described as being held in a cordial, positive and constructive atmosphere. There was a mutual consensus to disengage. Modalities for disengagement from all friction areas in eastern Ladakh were discussed and will be taken forward by both the sides, the statement had read. Monday's talks were described as having been held in a business-like manner, keeping in view the COVID-19 protocols. The meeting was expected to focus on reducing tension at the line of actual control. The success of talks for mutual disengagement on the ground is expected to depend on China agreeing to move back to its earlier positions. The latest round of talks also comes in the backdrops of China laying claim to the territory in the Fingers region of Ladakh's Pangong Lake. Satellite images have revealed a massive Mandarin symbol and map of China inscribed on the ground they occupy. India will not allow Chinese companies to participate in highway projects, including those through joint ventures, Union Minister Nitin Gadkari said on Wednesday amid border standoff with China. Gadkari also said the government will ensure that Chinese investors are not entertained in various sectors like micro, small and medium enterprises. The senior minister's assertions assume significance against the backdrop of border standoff between India and China in Ladakh that also saw the death of 20 Indian Army personnel. Amid escalating tensions, the government on Monday banned 59 applications, mostly having Chinese links, citing threats to national security. We will not give permission to joint ventures that have Chinese partners for road constructions. We have taken a firm stand that if they come via joint venture in our country, we will not allow it, Gadkari told in an interview. The Road Transport, Highways and MSME Minister said a policy will be out soon banning Chinese firms and relaxing norms for Indian companies to expand their eligibility criteria for participation in highway projects. Currently, only a few projects which were undertaken much earlier, involved some Chinese partners. When asked about this, the minister said that the new decision will be implemented in current and future tenders. With respect to existing tenders and future bids, Gadkari said rebidding would be done if there are any Chinese joint ventures. We have taken a decision to relax norms for our companies to ensure that they qualify in bidding in large projects. Elaborating on the decision, Gadkari said if a contractor can qualify for a small project, he can also qualify for a large project. Construction norms are not good, so I have asked to change it. We are changing it so that we can encourage Indian companies. The Gujarat government on Wednesday rolled back its decision to conduct the final year examinations for various courses under state-run universities within hours of announcing it, in view of a directive issued by the Union HRD Ministry asking states to defer all exams. After attending the cabinet meeting this morning, State Education Minister Bhupendra Singh Chudasama announced that the government had decided to allow state-run varsities to hold the final year exams. Majority of students are in favor of holding examinations as they want degrees for further studies or to secure jobs, though some are against such move, he had told the reporters in a social media poll conducted recently by the Gujarat Technological University. Favored holding of exams, while only 900 students opposed the move. After GTU, other universities will also conduct the final year exams. GTU exams were scheduled to start from July 2. Chudasama called a press conference in evening to inform that no exam will be conducted for now. After my announcement in the morning, the Union HRD Ministry sent a communication to all states asking them to postpone all exams till further notice. We have now decided not to hold the final year exams in Gujarat for now, the Education Minister said, adding that new schedule for exams will be announced later. Vodafone Idea, the country's third largest telecom operator, on Wednesday reported a staggering net loss of Rs 73,878 crore in the financial year ended March 31 on account of provisions for the Supreme Court mandated statutory dues that marked the highest ever net loss reported by an Indian firm. The firm, which has to pay Rs 51,500 crore dues after the top court ordered the non-telecom revenues to be included in calculating statutory dues, said the liability has cast a significant doubt on the company's ability to continue as a going concern. Vodafone Idea's net loss widened to Rs 11,643 crore in the January-March period of financial year 2019-20 from Rs 6,438 crore in the previous quarter and Rs 4,881 crore in the quarter ended March 2019. The telecom major said in a regulatory filing. The Department of Telecom estimates the company's dues related to adjusted gross revenue at Rs 58,254 crore for the period up to financial year 2016-17, but the company has pegged the dues at Rs 46,000 crore after adjustment of certain computational errors and payments made in the past not considered in the DOT demand. Of the total dues, it has made a payment of Rs 6,858 crore so far. the company took a hit of rupees 1,700 crore on account of AGR related liabilities and rupees 3,887 crore on account of one-time spectrum charges, both of which were recognized as exceptional items during the quarter ended March 2019. Revenues from operations in the quarter ended March 31, 2020 came in at rupees 11,754 crore. For the full financial year that ended on the same day, Vodafone Idea's losses stood at rupees 73,878 crore as against rupees 14,603 crore in financial year 2018-19. The revenue from operations for financial year 2019-20 stood at rupees 44,957 crore as against rupees 37,092 crore in 2018-19. Vodafone Idea said in a statement that its revenue rose 6% compared to the previous quarter, driven by prepaid tariff hikes effective December 2019. That's all for now. Keep watching K News. This is Hardik Trivedi taking your leave. Be alert, be positive, be safe.